Okay, shortcuts to congruent triangles. So, side, side, side means that three sides of two triangles are congruent, right?
Yes.
So it says if three sides of one triangle are congruent to three sides of another triangle, then the triangles are congruent. Does it say anything about angles?
No.
Do we care anything about angles in this? We do not care about any angles in this. We care about the sides. Does everyone understand? Now, AB is congruent to DE. AC is congruent to DF. BC is congruent to EF. And since all the sides are congruent, the triangles are congruent by side, side, side. Please look at your homework sheet that I gave you. Are there any of them on there that are congruent by side, side, side?
Yes. 7 and 12.
7, 12, and 6.
Oh, I guess.
There's some more.
5,
And 4, and 9.
No.
11.
4 has angles. We don't care about angles, do we?
Number 6.
Number 6.
Number 7.
Okay.
12.
Number 12 is not. Why is number 12 not? You don't have 3 tickies, do you? You just have 2 tickies. And how many do you need for side, side, side?
5.
3.
5 doesn't have it.
They share a side, don't they?
Yeah.
11.
11 deals with angles, baby. We need tickies on sides.
5, 6. So it's 5, 6, 7, and that's it. And 12.
We just talked about
You
12.
said 12 don't have all the tickies.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions?
No.
Okay. Let's look at side angle side. Now, side angle side means that we have a side, and then we have an angle, and then we have another side that sandwiches that angle, right? So, if two sides and the included angle of one triangle are congruent to two sides and the included angle of another triangle, then the triangles are congruent. Now, let's look at our triangles on the board. Everybody watch with me so that we can see the order that we go, because for some reason we're confused about this. Is everyone ready to look at the board?
Yes.
You have a side. You have a side. You have an angle. You have an angle. And then you have another side and another side. So is this side angle side?
Yes.
It is side angle side. Now tell me something. If our angle was on B right here and the sides stay the same, can we be an angle side side?
Yes. No.
No, don't be an angle side side. You can't spell angle side side forwards or backwards. Does everyone understand?
Yes. Wait, so like, if I get mad at you, can I call you an angle side side?
Yeah.
Like, I can't just be like, you're being an angle side side right now.
No. Because there's a strong chance that I'm going to be that at least 3 times a class period.
You're an angle side side.
But you can say it to me.
Yes.
I don't care.
Queen. All right, now look at your paper for your homework. Do you see any that are side angle side? Number 1.
Number 4.
Now, what about number 2?
Yes.
Look carefully at number 2.
No, they're not. There's an angle.
Well, there's a side and an angle and a side up here, right? But then there's an angle side side. Can we be an angle side side? No. So what's the answer to number 2?
No. Wait.
Angle side angle.
Don't be an angle side side.
It's an angle. It's an
Angle side angle.
Oh my goodness.
Guys, it's not. It's not. The answer is no, and I just explained why. The answer is no, and I just explained why. This would be angle side side, and you can't be an angle side side. So the answer is no. Anytime you have angle side side or side side angle, the answer is no. Does everyone understand?
Yes.
So is number 3, number 2.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
Is that angle side side?
No.
It's a side and then an angle and then a side. It's a side, then an angle, then a side. So what would that be, children?
Side, angle, side. Side angle side.
Look at us go.
Oh,
What about number 4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Side angle side.
What is the other one? This one. Look at both of them. How about we try this new trick I learned in Nam? Let's look at both triangles before we say yes or no, okay? Let's look at both triangles. So this triangle, it does say side, angle, side, but what does this triangle say on the right? And can we be an angle, side, side?
No.
No! So what's the answer?
No.
Sweet
Oh,
Jesus
I didn't
in
know you
heaven,
had- I
there's
didn't know
no
you-
hope for the future.
I didn't know you had to read it like left.
I could read it right to left, side, side, angle. I can't be a side, side, angle either.
Oh, I was just counting them up like there's 2 angles on a side.
No, baby, you have to go in order.
Alright.
There is no hope for the future. You have to go in order, children. You have to go in order. Yes, my love.
No, I don't want to. You just made me uncomfortable.
What?
I don't want to say that.
Okay. Let's look. Do we have any questions on side, angle, side? Okay. Now, let's look at angle, side, angle. What does that imply, angle, side, angle?
There's an angle, there's a side, there's an angle.
There's an angle, then there's a side, then there's an angle. Take a point, Drake. Please open this Flappy. Flappy. It says if 2 angles and the included side, that means the side in between them, of one triangle are congruent to 2 angles and the included side, that means the side in between them, then the triangles are congruent. Now, we have an angle, we have a side, we have an angle. Are we only going to look at one triangle?
No.
We're going to look at how many triangles?
2.
Both of the triangles. So we have an angle, side, angle. What about over here? And can we be an angle, side, angle? Yes, we can. Do you see any angle, side, angles on your homework?
Yes. Number 11.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you finish or correct your homework without me, and then put it in the tray. Yes, sir.
Well, there would be 3.
Maybe.
Now you're mad about
No.
You have an angle, right?
And band.
And then you have this side, and they share this side, so that means that this side is congruent.
I would only have like 5 angles, but I have.
And then they have an angle. So that's an angle, a side, and then an angle. He just goes ignores you. And then
Standing
yes,
there waiting
an
on me,
angle,
and
a
then
side,
just
and then an
walks
angle. Yes.
We're not friends. Like you just made me walk all the way over there for no reason.
Yes. Can you put this in the tray? Okay. No, yours.
Okay, never mind.
Put yours in the tray, and then I'll get you a folder of the glass.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
I thought you were just had me something else.
No.
You're not friends.
So please go to the right side. The right side. The first one that we're going to do is angle, angle, side. It's crazy. Angle, angle, side. So what do you think that must be? An angle and then an angle and then a side. So if 2 angles and the non-included, so that means it's not between the angles, the non-included side of one triangle are congruent to 2 angles, and the corresponding, that means in the same position, non-included side of another triangle, then the triangles are congruent. So, corresponding means that they're in the same position. Non-included means it's not between the angles. So, we have an angle, correct? Angle F. And what angle is that congruent to?
B.
Angle B. And then we have another angle, angle D, and what's that congruent to? And then we have a side, AC, what's that congruent to? Are those 2 triangles congruent? By what postulate? Angle, angle, side. Does everybody understand? Are we sure?
No regrets.
No regrets.
Sorry, I was eating milk.
Oh my gosh. This is why we can't have nice things. Alright, hypotenuse leg. What do you think hypotenuse leg deals with? Why? Why?
Making sounds up for them earlier, and I went, ooh.
Jesus, take the wheel. Crash the bus. Alright, so if the hypotenuse and the leg of a right triangle are congruent to the hypotenuse and a leg of a second right triangle,
That one's easy.
then the two triangles are congruent. It is easy because which one is the hypotenuse? How do you know where the hypotenuse is? It's across from the right angle. It's across from the right angle. It has to have a right angle, and then it's across from the right angle. So are these two triangles congruent?
Yeah.
Why?
Hypotenuse leg.
Which ones have the tickies?
That's
No, guys, I want you to tell me the size. I don't want you to just scream stuff at me. I want you to actually use your brains, and I want you to tell me what sides are congruent. AC and DF. Now, everybody stop. Is that the hypotenuse or the leg? The hypotenuse, because it's across from the right angle. And if you get confused, go to your right angle and draw an arrow. And do that every time, and that tells you where the hypotenuse is. Man, oh man. And then the leg, AB is congruent to DE. Now, it has to have the box that says it's a right angle. It has to have that box that says it's a right angle. It has to have the box that says it's a right angle for you to be able to use hypotenuse leg. Does everyone understand? So if I say triangle ACB is congruent to what triangle?
DFE.
DFE by hypotenuse leg. Now, if I asked you why, could you tell me why?
Yes.
Why?
I would say, wait.
Because
Because
AC
it has
is
a right
congruent to DF.
Okay. And?
D is congruent to DE. And then
Good.
Hypotenuse.
And it has a?
Triangle.
Good. Both of y'all's teams take a point. So this is for right triangles
Only.
only. All the others can be used for any triangle that we want in the entire world. But this is for right triangles only. Oh my gosh.
Dang.
Alright, false shortcuts. The ones that we can't use.
We just have
Don't use angle, side, side.
So do we use like the abbreviation for that?
No, I don't want you to write that on your paper. Don't be a donkey.
I already did it.
You're the bane of my existence. Don't use side, side, angle.
We can write that one, right?
No. Would it make you feel better if we wrote them in the circle?
No.
Okay.
Only if we can put the abbreviation in the circle.
That's what I mean. Would it just make your soul happy if we put the abbreviations? You have to put dashes in between them. Look, we spelled bad words in math class.
It's going to you.
You made me happy.
Wow, demonetized.
Mine said the best thing in the world.
This is just so satisfying.
You can. I'll even give you a minute to color your little no sign if you want to. Congratulations.
What a great kid. No one likes me.
I actually don't.
Somebody asked me that the other day, not even if they were being sarcastic, and I was just like, no. I posted that stupid.
What did someone ask you?
Like, I said something, they were like, do you want to coach you? And I was like, no. And then, like, I realized they were being sarcastic.
Oh, like, yeah. What a mess. Not really.
Okay, in the top drawer of your tower. Top drawer of your tower. May I see yours, please?
No.
Do not pass out this one yet. So the one that is turned sideways, don't pass this one out. But we're going to cut these and everybody gets one. Do you understand? Cut these and everybody gets one. There's 4 and then there's 2. But not this yet. Yes.
Why didn't the skeleton go to the party?
I don't know. Okay, so I'm gluing mine on the 27B. I'm gluing mine on the 27B.
Are we all going to move what on 27?
Yes. That's what I just said.
Yeah, I recommend that computer academy.
Hey, Sasbury be doing this thing fast.
Well, it's tape, baby. It's not anything crazy.
I know. But
Alright, so I'm gluing this on a 27B, and then we're going to make a chart.
hey, Miss Sasbury, you know what I do fast?
Not math.
Run.
Every day. I can beat you. I will outrun you.
Oh yeah, we talking to good Gavin. I was like, bro, I dust you so good. I bet I could dust him.
Look at her like drinking stuff. She's like, well, I don't do exercise, so I can like Do you know Christmas Gavin?
They got Gryffindor. They sound like
Is this all we're saying?
Slytherin. They sound like a snake.
Well, that's why their mascot is a snake.
Oh, so they are.
Yes.
Well, what about
Is this all
Gryffindor?
we're gluing?
Lions.
Oh, I
See, I told you they sound like
I thought they were a griffin.
Badger. Durmstrang is the Russian school.
Oh, we're a bird, right?
Yeah.
What is Bobat in that?
French school.
I haven't watched that much.
So like, what's the
Spanish.
Einstein?
Okay, so what we're going to do on this page is we're going to make a chart. And you are going to come up with an example that does not look like, well, it can be similar to this, but you need to label your triangles for each of your postulates. That way you can show me somehow that you understand what's happening. Does everyone understand? So I'm going to make mine right here. And I am going to draw a line. Because I'm making a chart.
Oh, I don't have a
You should have glued it at the top like I did. I even gave an example on what was happening, guys. I gave an example. Okay, baby. Alright, so how many postulates do we have?
5.
We have 5. So I'm gonna make enough space for 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Ooh, I'm going to go every 4 thingies. 1, 2.
Chill out.
It's not necessary at all. Do you need to lose a point over there?
I think,
Saturday, you need to start cracking down on people's phones.
On what?
Points.
Okay.
My team's a goat. We're the only team that be scoring and we run down. And Cameron, with that mind of yours, with that mind of yours, you should be disappointed.
What an intelligent human being.
I wasn't talking about his actual mind. I call him Mega Mind. What's up, Coach Hammond? How are you?
Alright, postulate example triangles, and then you're going to explain it. Alright, so our first postulate that we learned was side, side, side. So I'm going to write S, S, S. And then side, angle, side. And then angle, side, angle. And then angle, angle, side. And finally, hypotenuse, leg. Y'all are annoying.
I was looking confused as to why I was saying.
Then you're going to draw me an example triangle. So you have to come up with an example triangle for side, 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 and then I want you to explain why it is side, side, side. Does everyone understand? We are doing this right now. We are not just sitting there staring off into space wondering what's happening. If you have any questions, you need to raise your hand and actually ask questions. Does everyone understand? Ready, set, go. You've got 10 minutes.
Can you look at my thing? Because I need my point.
There you go. Look at you go, and you even labeled your triangles. I'm so proud of you.
Woo! That's my teammate.
Gang. I'm sorry if you can't read this handwriting because I can't write.
You're doing a great job.
Heather.
Am I explaining part? I just feel like reading the result.
Take a point. Now, does it help that he labeled his triangles A, B, C, and then D, E, F? It does, because then we can be more specific in it.
It's a whale. It's a whale. It's a dinosaur. It's a
I'm in school. I can be in one. I'll be in one of those. You did what? I'm in school.
No, you are.
You have your week. I don't know, but I know last time we played I beat you.
Educated.
Our teacher knows teaching more. You want you see you want to lose money like that. But you don't say look, she's $100.
This week and she has nothing to talk about.
You know what you can for.
Yeah.
And he'll be taking that. Yeah. Well,
Dance organizers all the time.
because I'm saying,
It's like a book.
Like, what about everybody else? One guy don't want to go, and I like y'all say.
I'm trying to figure out what this is. Is it a unicorn?
But I just, like,
Good job, big boy.
I mean, look at the example.
I was like, what is this? The unicorn that has bubbles.
So we have to be balanced. All right. I'm not ready.
everyone didn't recognize it. Actually, mine is the example, and I didn't realize that was the example. I can't go, you have to go.
No, what?
Mine is the exact same as the example, I didn't even know.
How many times am I going to mess up on the triangle?
Oh my goodness.
I'm not a brat.
You're a brat.
You're more impressive than me. So let me show up.
I want to buy one of those. Put it in my room. I feel like my room's too small.
My great conversation. Like my conversation.
I don't want to.
I mean, I like to know it's great. I mean, I'm wearing Converse too. I just try to make it stupid.
My first grade has a thing, and I was doing my users.
no, it is.
I have great Converse too, but they're like all gray. And they got blue, so now they're like brown.
Where do you buy them at Walmart?
Yes.
The oils I get on Amazon. Oh, Amazon. If you lie about the fact that you're a student, you get 6 months free.
How do y'all write like this? Oh my God, what'd I do?
Like 3 pages.
See, Travis, this is why you should have done it.
What? I remember that
Okay, I
same
do it
thing.
every day.
Okay.
Okay.
There we go.
She's not to blame me for everything.
That's why I get my like.
Because, like, I'm not.
I just get new
Aaron,
cards.
take a point.
Oh, I just had a new email.
Yeah, I get your email and I get your card, and it's like a $10 card.
All right, we've got 2 minutes. We gotta hustle.
That's how I get my Spotify too. It's so inconvenient though, because I can make Spotify accounts. I'm just broke. I got no cash. I got $5 gift card.
That's angle side side. That's angle side side.
Oh my
That
God.
angle stop.
Actually, I did have
What angle?
Just put 2 rainbows at the very top.
Okay.
I used to use my brother's, and then like he stopped using it, so he canceled his account, and I don't have an account.
So does the other angle need to not be there?
Until I leave for a new.
I don't know. Whatever.
And then my
If they haven't,
Yeah, I have 16 hours.
I got you.
Of
Yeah,
video.
it's like dropping some things. That's alright.
great job, great job. All right, you have Alex, look, let's go.
About it. You know it's not just you.
Do
I'm
hold.
like, I don't give a shit if I actually can.
All right, if your whole table has your whole chart done and you agree with your person on the board, make sure you circle 5 points and give 2 extra after that.
Oh, damn.
Well,
Please.
I already have
Damn.
7.
Oh.
So 2 extra. 2 extra. Plus 8 plus 9. There you go.
I'm
I
so
got
sure
9.
because like last night.
Our partner slept.
And I missed the
We got
last
7
episode of
and
my
then we said
favorite show for the last season.
No,
The
make
last
sure you
episode
circle
that I
up to
said.
5.
And I fell asleep during lunch. And I woke up
So
and
now
I
we
was
have
like, oh my
9.
god, I got this stuff. So I was trying to like, supernatural. I'm on season 9. It's so good, I love
All
it.
right, tomorrow we're going to be working on this some more. Wednesday you're going to have a quiz and we're going to start proofs. Get excited.
Eat yoga.
Whoa.
Hey!
Holy moly.
Oh, you didn't put your catering Halloween.
Goodbye. Make good choices. Be good people. Get out.
Like awkward position.